Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Alan Troy. Today we're chatting with Libby Howard, author of this month's featured book, Death is on the Menu, book two of the Reckless Camper Cozy Mystery series. Hi, Libby. How are you?
Doing great this morning, Alan. Nice to see you today.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you today. I've got some questions prepared, so excuse my eye darting as I go over and look at them.
Sure,
Um, First, tell us about yourself and how you got started writing cozy mystery.
sure. I've written for quite a while under a different name, and one of the reasons I wanted to write cozy mysteries is because of my mother. My mom is always my biggest fan, and my other pen name, my books are quite racy and very stabby and lots of language. And she was always happy to like drag my books along to, church Christmas bazaars and her Scrabble team game and inappropriately tried to sell these people my books and I was such a fan. But her favorite genre to read was mystery, and especially cozy mystery. That was always her favorite. So always in the back of my mind I thought, oh, I would love to write a book that would be something my mom would like to read. And then unfortunately, she was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer, and I decided no time like the present. So, while she was undergoing her treatment, she and I would talk quite a lot about the characters and plots and different names and different scenarios. And we just really, kind of built the framework of my cozy mysteries together. And unfortunately, she passed away before I was able to publish any of the books. But all of my books published under the name Libby Howard are kind of a love letter to my mom. They're all books that I write for her. I write books that I know she would love to read.
Very cool that you're able to, include your mother. In fact, as I was reading through the book that's featured this month, I noticed that Sassy, the main character in Sleuth, she has a live-in elderly mother with her. So I'm assuming there's a little bit of that mom-daughter relationship from you.
Oh, absolutely. When I wrote, those two characters, I always thought, gosh, if my mother had lived, this totally would have been us, partners in crime, hanging out together, doing things together. I don't think I would have bought a campground, but we shared a lot of hobbies and interests in common, and we did enjoy spending time together. So, it was kind of like I wish that that had been us.
Well, cozy mystery authors seem to love fun names for their sleuths. And you've got Sassy and Elvis, of course. As soon as I saw the dog's name, that song started to play in my head. So, how do you come up with the names? Is it personality first or name first?
A lot of it's personality first. I wanted Sassy, I wanted her family to be kind of from, an old Southern family. The campground is even though it takes elements from a lake here in Maryland, it also takes elements from Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. And I kind of saw the campground as being situated in kind of a rural Virginia area. So I wanted something that was, a little bit Southern. And so, sassafras sounded like just an amazing, name that somebody would give their daughter, if they were a Southern woman. And as for Elvis, I just can't imagine a better name for a bloodhound, unless it's the name that my two bloodhounds had, which my one bloodhound was named Bones, and my other bloodhound, his name is Buckwheat. So yeah, and he's the color of a pancake. He's just this lovely golden, sort of reddish golden brown color. He's really pretty. Bones was a dark brown. So I had two bloodhounds, and I just imagined, Sassy having a bloodhound. I was like, what good name would there be for a good old boy bloodhound? And of course, Elvis, it just sounded like a great name for a bloodhound.
That's interesting. And Going back to the mother-daughter relationship of Sassy
Mhm.
and her mom, is there any of you in the character of Sassy?
I love camping. I do really enjoy it, and I totally could see, it's Sassy in the books after a cancer scare. She quits her job and kind of closes out her 401(k) and buys this campground because it's one of those turning points in your life where you're like, this is bonus time I'm in now, and I'm going to do things that I always wanted to do. So for her, it was buying a campground. I can't see myself buying a campground, but maybe going to a lot of campgrounds and staying there. I just love I go to Shenandoah National Park. I love the cabins there. Sometimes I tent camp when I go there. I do some hiking. I just really enjoy that. So in that part, there is a little bit. Of sassy that comes from me. But boy, what a lot of work. I can't, I just can only, well, I do imagine the amount of work that Sassy has to put into keeping that campground up and running.
But what about the mystery? Do you and your two dogs go out and solve crimes in your
Sadly,
downtime?
no. We have yet to encounter the need for any sleuthing. I think the biggest sleuthing we do is like, where did our car keys end up for the day or something?
Just clip them to the dog. You'll always find them.
Yes, yeah, I know, really. So
Well,
sorely, no.
this is book two in the series. Is there an overriding arc for Sassy in this, or is each book just kind of, its own little thing? And what have you got in mind for Sassy?
Yeah. I try to keep each book so that you could pick up any book in the series and start reading it and not feel like you're missing out. There are, as far as like the friend groups, there definitely is some continuing plot with her best friend neighbor and with Jake, the retired, Capitol Police officer that's across the street. That's sort of a sometimes deputy, sort of a deputy on call for the county. And so there's definitely growth in the friend group and growth for Sassy as well too as she gets her footing in the campground. But I try to keep the books standalone. Right now there's 5 books in the series that are out, and the 6th book just went up on pre-order for release next year. It's called Suspicious Llamas. So that one takes place at if you read the books, at a fairly well-known farm in the area that has llamas and jam, and of course there's going to be a body that is discovered at the farm, and maybe only the llamas know who did it.
Well, you can't have all the murder mysteries happen at the campground. You've got to pull the
Yes.
character away.
Yeah, poor Sassy. I don't want her campground to get a bad reputation. So there needs to be murders elsewhere.
But at least it's a small community, even though it's outside the campground. So we're still keeping the Cozy Mystery fans happy with the small, closed community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, um, is this series going to be ongoing for quite a few more books, or is there an end in sight?
As with all of my Cozy Mystery series, I just don't see an end. I just keep going until the characters have nothing else to say or to grow or to do. The other series, the Locust Point Mystery series, is, oh my gosh, I think we're on book 15 of that series, so it's coming along quite a bit. I see the same with the Reckless Camper series. And I will be launching another equestrian cozy mystery series as well sometime in the next year. I keep teasing that, but it is coming. So yeah, I just see these series continuing on for quite a long time.
Oh, well, cool. So, are your books in Kindle Unlimited or are you wide?
All of these books are wide, so any retailer has them. I realize that there are some people that prefer Kindle Unlimited, but if you like to borrow, all these books are available through your local library. So please check with your library. The Reckless Camper books are not yet in audio. That's something I'll be working on the next year. but they have ebook and paperback, and you can get those at your library if you decide that you'd rather borrow than buy them.
Okay, well, I'm running out of questions, so why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you on social media and your website and all that good stuff?
Oh, definitely. I am rarely on Facebook, but I do have a Facebook page. It's Libby Howard Author, and you can, meet up with me there. The best way to get in touch with me, of course, is my newsletter, and you can sign up for there at my website at Libby Howard Author. Just go there and go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. I send out at least monthly newsletters, letting people know what's happening with my books, giving them recommendation for other great cozy mysteries they might want to read, and then a little bit of what's going on in my life as far as, my dogs, good sourdough recipe, etc.
We got to be able to keep up with the pets in our lives.
Yes,
So,
yes.
well, thank you very much for your time today. I think we'll end it here. And folks, remember to check out the Cozy Mystery Book Club. You should be getting emails from all of us authors every month about what's coming up. So, thank you very much, Libby.
Great. Thank you.